Guys, good day. Welcome to Dunamis Doxa Fashion Hub. Um, Today, I'll be teaching how to cut a straight top, a nice straight top that you can turn into your skirt, a normal top. And look at the material. This funny. Looks like a pieces. It's not up to half yard. And this is pieces. So let's see what we can transform this into. So this, I'm very sure, can be used to cut. See, can you see very well? So also joining my students here, so who are learning also. So let's see what we can do done this. Now first needs a lacquer material. Before you start anything on lacquer and anything stretching material, check where is stretching there. Let's do. I see like this is stretching. So between I say it's stretching like this horizontally and not like this. So that means you're not expected to fold your clothes like this. I believe you understood. You're getting me. So you fold your clothes like this because you're having your journey like this. If you fold your clothes like this, when you start sewing, it will start tearing. It won't make sense. That is unprofessional. So that's the first thing you need to check when you want to cut your clothes. So the first thing you want to check the stretching part. So this place stretches. That means I'm to fold my clothes like this, not like this. So that's the first thing we need to know. The second thing we need to know is what are the measurements we need to cut a top. The first thing we need is our length. I hope you're writing it down. Our length, our back, our bust, our half length, which is I need my second half length, and my second half length is from my shoulder to my waist region. Some call it band, some call it half cut, but I call it my half length. We have 3 half length. You can watch that in my measurement video, so you can understand more better. So I will need my length, I will need my back, I will need my bust, I will need my second half length, and I will need my waist, and again I will need my under waist. Yeah, this is where our under waist measurement comes in, and our third half length comes in. Probably meaning your third half length, but this is where your under waist comes in, where you need the measurement. So now let's go on. The first thing we do is divide all the circumferential measurement. It helps you to work faster. So what do we need to do? We are cutting for and my waist, my length I'm using is length 24. I'm using back 14. I'm using bust 34. So bust 34 divided by 4, that will give me 8.5. So I'm adding 1 inch allowance because it's a stretching material. On the norms, sometimes I don't add any allowances to it. I don't add, but for your sake, I'll be adding 1 inch allowance to it. So you need to add 1 inch allowance to it. But if I cut it for any other material that is not stretching, or for Hankara or for any other material that is not stretching, you can add like 1.5 or 2. You add 2 to your bust. Yeah, you have to. But because it's a stretching material, I'm adding 1 inch allowance to heat. So 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 1. That is 9.5. Then my waist, my second half length is 15.5. My waist is 28. 28 divided by 4, that is 7, right? Plus 1, that is 8. And my under waist is 33. 33 divided by 4, that is 8.25 plus 1, that is 9.25. So that's all the measurements we need to cut a top. So the first thing I do is to fold my clothes with my highest measurement. What is my highest measurement between my bust and my waist? It is is the bust. So I'll be folding with my bust measurement plus allowance. Say my bust is 34. I'm already divided by 4, that's 8.5 plus 1, that is 9.5 inch allowance. So I'll be folding 9.5 inches allowance. I'll be folding 9.5. I mean I mean 9.5, not 9.75. I'm exactly 9.5. You need to be disciplined about this. Don't add 0.1, make it 9.5. I mean, make it 9.5. Make sure it is 9.5, not 10. See that's 0.5 allowance that you want to add extra. If you accumulate them, it's not for scarf. So make it 9.5. So 9.5. Let's make it 9.5. I believe we know 9.5 on our tape rules. 9.5 inch allowance. 9.5 inches. This is 9.5. So I've folded my 9.5. So next thing I will do is what? Is measure my top length. My top length is what? 20 what? 4 plus 1 and inch allowance to it. That is what? 20 what? 5. But this is 24. So that means I can use this side. Let me turn to the other side. Let me see how it will go. Let me see how it will give me 25. Know that you are folding the back, folding to the back, not to the front. So this is my 9.5. You don't need to mind this down because you know that the cloth is not straight. And let's see whether we can adjust it a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe and on your notification button. You can straighten it for easy measurement. Straighten it. No, but since you'll be using a good material, then you can just leave it like that. So this definitely again, and let I need this 25. So what will I do now? What do you think I can do? What do you think I can do? So I'll be using length 23 for my length. So this 23, mark it around 23. I'm using bar so that you can see it very clearly. If I'm using a normal material, you don't need to be doing all the stress, but I'm trying to teach you how to transform materials, how to make use of converting your pieces to reasonable thing. So after measuring your length, the next thing you do is to measure your back. My students are here, so they are learning. So my back is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. So this I'm measuring my 7. I hope you can see very well. So measure 7. Measure. Think so? Should I use chalk? Let's chalk. Let's see the difference between chalk and biro. But I was asked you to use chalk for yours. Okay. So let's just use chalk. Then I'm using my standard measurement height. So I told you how to get the standard measurement. If you measure from your shoulder to where your armpit is, you see this height, except from some cases whereby the person is busted, then you can use 8.5 or 9. So you can check it and confirm what I just said now. So on that 8, I'll measure my bust, which is what I folded here, 9.5. Just mark it, just make a straight line. Then what do you do next? You measure your second half length. The second half length is 15 and a half. 15 and a half. Then now 15 and a half, I'll measure my waist. My waist is 28. Divided by 4, that is 7 plus 1, that is 8. You know that your third half length is always equals to your top length, right? So down it, you measure your the under waist measurement, which is 33, am I right? 33 divided by 4, that is 8.25 plus 1, that is 9.25. So sometimes you can leave it like that or use the exact measurement. Then you sketch. Sometimes I don't want the person to leave it like that. You can just a little bit cough it down a little bit. Just use your discretion to do that. Then you measure the hammer. If you don't have a hammer drawer, you can use your hand. I use my hand before. Let me use this ruler. Sometimes I prefer my hand than this hammer sometimes. Make sure what you're doing is straight. So use a round hammer against drill. That audible hammer you're looking for, because maybe the ruler and the hammer is not coming out very well. So can you see what I did here? I slanted it a little bit, so it's going to be looking like a top. If you look at tops don't always like that. So look at it, you curve a little bit. Can you see? And cut out. Dressmaking is very simple if you just understand the basics. And manage your clothes very well. Maybe a hero. So can you see? Ensure your cutting is straight and very neat. Front. I will also be cutting my back. I'm not using zip. So I'm not using any zip. So can you see what we are transforming these pieces into? So we need to be creative. And in dressmaking, we have a slogan. There's no risk in trying. Even if the clothes is too small, just try something. You can big out something from it. Learn to use your brain. So can we see the function of under waist? All the measurements are useful. It is that the most common when people just is what's it called? Is the waist, the hip, the bust. Yes, they're the most common. But all these small measurements we take, they are also very, very useful. I think I told you I'm not using zip, right? So that means you can afford to waste that place. You may want that we are cutting with pieces and again we are still managing. Yes, yes, we need to manage because we need to we need to get used to it. We need to get used to it. We need to get used to it. Make sure it's well laid. Sometimes I need to check underneath. Can you see? It's overlapping underneath. So that's another thing again. Make sure your cloth is well laid. Very cut. So now we remove the neck. Remove the neck. We are cutting our neck. That's the next thing we are doing. I'm using 4. I think I've taught you how to cut neck, right? Our neck is 14 by 4. That is what 3.5. Am I right? I said you added what 0.5 each other, so that is 4. So the wideness will be 4. And I'm dropping it by 4 also.
Is it for the baby?
Yeah. I'm dropping my back by 2. After that, don't cut your back differently. Cut it on the same thing. Let's sketch.
Is it stuff they are making for
Then you drop this leg by half. And I think the reason I'm dropping by half is because of what? The armpit. So you don't cut the front together. Don't make that mistake. You cut the back together because the back is the lowest. Cut it together.
Do you know what I was feeling? I said, see another fine design. What is so for baby? I said, let me take my baby.
Then, see, can you see? I'll cut the now, I'll cut the front. The reason I'm cutting together so that this piece can align. Yeah. Start. So, can you see? Out of piece.